She has been the truth in 2 outings so far this weekend.
I feel like you're going to see that a little bit. The pitchers just finding ways to get outs, right? Because they're going to be getting +4 for every single out they record. Doesn't matter if it's a strikeout, a ground out, a fly out. So I think pitching to contact and utilizing your defense can help you in the long run because you won't have to throw as many pitches. Strikeout pitchers tend to throw a lot more pitches, but if you can pitch to contact, utilize the defense, it can give you a little bit more longevity throughout a week if you're throwing in 3 games.
Victoria Hayward, Canadian center fielder, offered at it. And the count is now a ball and 2 strikes to Hayward, leading things off here in the top of the first inning. One out in the books, a hard ground out to the shortstop Anissa Urtez. Victoria Hayward is retired. With my partner Danielle Laurie, I am Eric Collins. This is game 6 of what has been a full wraparound weekend of softball reimagined here in the Chicagoland area. 2 unbeaten teams, Team Warren led by Jessie Warren, Team Wagner led by Captain Haley Wagner. There's Haley. Both 2-0 through their first 2 games here in this new format. Aubrey Leach is the batter in the 2-hole for Team Warren. Quickly 0-2. Good start for Haley Wagner, pumping that strike zone with strikes.
I think you have 2 of the best pitchers squaring off right now, and Haley Wagner and Kat Osterman is going to be taking the circle coming for Team Warren. So you always love that when you have 2 of the aces just going at it.
Right back to Wagner, has it go off the tip of her glove. Oh, that's a play she makes 98 times out of 100. With 1 out, a runner aboard. For MVP votes, and also, folks, important to remember, there are no head coaches, there are no general managers. These players are policing themselves. They're deciding what they want to do for themselves and by themselves.
And I love that. I love that the athletes are in the driver's seat that get to make the decisions. The captains are the ones that you have to go through to make pitching changes, stuff like that. And Jessie Warren has been incredible for Team Orange, Team Warren they call it, but she's just been consistent in the scrimmage about a week ago, and it shows she's going to be someone that's up top the leaderboard and has a good chance at winning this thing maybe at the end.
Warren hits it softly to the shortstop. Urtez's only play in front of her at first, and Warren is retired. Moving into scoring position goes Aubrey Leach. Here's Speckis. Every scoring decision we have, we make sure that it's passed along because it is important, because it adds to points. Aubrey Leach a moment ago, who hit that high chopper that went off of Haley Wagner's glove, it was ruled a single, so 10 points go to Aubrey Leach. You clearly don't think that should have been a single.
Completely disagree with that. She took her eye off the ball to try to make the throw.
Up the middle, that'll get through. Here comes Leach. The throw is not nearly in time, and the first run of the game crosses home plate. Gwen Speckis RBI single with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning.
And that's a good piece of hitting. That's a curve. That's in on her hands. She's able to get her hands inside that, not do too much. Just pretty hitting right up the middle. And that's enough to score. Leach has a lot of speed. Rounds and makes it not even remotely close at home.
Erica Biancastelli is the batter, and she takes called strike 1. I'll tell you, the most unhappy person in the ballpark that wasn't ruled an error on the ball hit by Leach is that woman, Haley Wagner, because it's called a hit. That is now an earned run against her, and it's a negative 10 points on her point total for the season.
Well, and for the viewers wondering, pitchers get +4 points for every single out that they record. It doesn't matter if it's a strikeout, a ground out, a fly out, but it can tally up if they give up a lot of earned runs, -10 each one. So the importance of really being able to get every single out and capitalizing and not allowing runs to score. You can climb up the leaderboard if you're fortunate enough to be on a winning team, because as we know, they have winning every inning, which is 10 points for every single athlete on the team. but winning a game gets you 50 points. So you can really get up there quickly if you're on those winning teams.
Biancastelli, all sorts of power. Had an opposite field home run yesterday. Getting the start in the 5-hole. She's the designated player. Svekis, the runner at first. No need to pinch run for her. She can fly. Disregard the fact that she's the catcher. She's got wheels. She let me know about that. I was talking to her in the bullpen before the game, and she said, Eric, I can run. I'm a big girl, but I can run. Fisted off the third baseman's glove and off the shortstop's glove. That touched both Sanchez and Urtez. Neither of them can stick a fork in it, and I'm assuming that's going to be an infield base hit. It is. So Biancastelli is aboard.
Because you turn on the TV, it's 10-0. You're like, I'm turning this off. But this matters because it is that point system. And it's important for these athletes to understand, yeah, I can put my swagger on high if I'm high up on the leaderboard and I'm 4 for 4. But if I'm on a winning team and I'm not, or losing team, excuse me, and I'm not winning innings, I can't make it very far. So it is all about the team.
Janie Reed laces it into left field. Wiggins quickly up with it, gets it back to the infield, and Svekis has to stop at third. That is now the 4th hit of the inning, the 3rd consecutive single for Team Warren, and the bases are loaded. Here's Katiana Mauga, 2nd all-time in Division I at homers, hitting out of the number 7 hole. Takes ball 1. Mauga hitting against Haley Wagner. And in case you're wondering, if Haley Wagner is looking to make a change, she's the one who has to make it. She's the captain of her team. She was the one who would decide if there needs to be another arm getting loose in the bullpen. Kind of an awkward situation for her.
And that's a prime example of someone that can use a facilitator more than some. If you're pitching and you're in the circle and you only want to deal with what comes with that, you can say to your facilitator, hey, I'm in the circle. I'm going to pass this off to you to be able to make some of these decisions so I can solely focus on the task at hand.
2 balls and a strike. And now we do have activity. That is Samantha Shao. You'd imagine this is going to be something hittable for Mauga. Smoked. Hannah Flippin saves the day. Hannah Flippin robbed Mauga of extra bases.
Hi, I'm Natalie Portman, and I'm supporting Athletes Unlimited because I am so excited for the next generation to grow up with even more female sports heroes.
Natalie Portman, we save her for the best of the best. 2 unbeaten teams battling, and arguably one of the greatest pitchers in the history of this sport in the circle in Kat Osterman. Kat Osterman pitched in Game 1 for Team Warren, got herself a win. What's new? Didn't play at all in yesterday's win against Team Penley.
And it's still the same Kat you all know and love. She loves that drop ball. Haven't seen her throw many rise balls, but I think that'll come as the weeks go on, and has that good curveball that you saw right there into Chittister's hands.
We talked about Kat and her dominating performance on Saturday. Because of that performance and because of her team's performance throughout the course of the week, she is up there. She is ranked 4th on the leaderboard. On the ground to 3rd, Warren throws out Chittister by a half step. Vacuum cleaner over there is Jessie Warren. 2 players that know each other very well. They've been pros together for a number of seasons. Kat Osterman and Megan Wiggins. Combined, they have over 2 decades of pro experience. Wiggins has been fantastic here in her first weekend with Athletes Unlimited. High chopper. Second baseman. Aubrey Leach makes the play. 2 down. Couple of ground ball outs. Here's Hannah Flippin. She saved the day defensively in the top of the first inning, spearing a line drive that was headed for the gap. With the bases loaded, it would have scored a pair, maybe 3. Flippin is an alternate on Team USA's Olympic roster. Kat is back with Team USA again and will pitch in the Olympics for the 3rd time. She won a gold medal in 04 and stunningly won a silver in 08 when Team USA lost against Japan. Pop-up, shallow center field. Hayward makes the play, a 1-2-3. Top of the second inning, good start for Team Warren. They strung together 4 singles in the first inning and scored a run. Left the bases loaded though. Here's Morgan Zirkle. It'll be Zirkle, Ramirez, and then the top of the order, Victoria Hayward, here in the second inning against Haley Wagner.
And I know we've already passed some of the heavy hitters, but to me, Zirkle, Ramirez, Hayward, Leach in a row is dangerous. So much speed.
On the ground softly to third, a bit of a bobble, and it results in a base hit. Amanda Sanchez didn't get it cleanly, and we've got Zirkle aboard, so fantastic speed to begin the inning.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. She doesn't have to do much. She just kind of drops that right in front of Sanchez and uses her wheels and clearly legs that out. And that's why those are some of the toughest hitters to get out, because they don't even need to hit it out of the infield. They're just testing the defense, putting pressure and making them work, and that's 10 points for Zirkle.
And Ramirez is hit. Was she in the batter's box? Yes, she was. So she caught a break. If you foul a ball and it hits you when you're outside the batter's box, you're automatically out. So it's nothing but a strike to Abby Ramirez. The scoring on that ball hit by Zirkle, in case you're wondering, is a single for Zirkle, so she gets 10 points. There was that possibility that it was going to be ruled an error. It was not. Ramirez lays it down. Another chance for Sanchez. This time she gets the batter. Ramirez out number 1. That'll go as a sacrifice. So 10 points for Ramirez. That ball glances off of Hayward's bat. Tough toenail, strike 1.
And those points are just going to continue to roll over week to week. At the very end of this thing, you're just going to have one winner. One of these 56 ladies taking the crown.
Hayward tries to lay a bunt down and can't do it successfully. 0-2.
And another benefit to having a player like Kat Osterman on your team is she's like a coach, right? She coached at Texas State for a long time. I mean, she's trying to go to her 3rd Olympics, so she's experienced a lot. So I almost think that's more beneficial than a facilitator, because you have a coach on your team that's experienced a ton.
Hayward's thrown out by Flippin. Aubrey Leach. Foul ball, strike 1. Wagner trying to work around a leadoff single to Zirkle. She's been fortunate. She's faced 10 batters and already given up 5 hits, but only 1 run so far.
You have to remember you're playing for winning that inning, right? So the first inning, Team Warren scored first. Team Wagner was not able to, so everyone on Team Warren got that 10 points in their bank account, and now you're looking at this inning, so the importance of winning this inning. So for Team Wagner, it's to shut a team down like this. You got 2 outs, runner on 3rd.
Foul ball. And one thing about Wagner, she's not going to be able to rely on the strikeout. She's now pitched over 10 innings this weekend for Athletes Unlimited. It only has 2 strikeouts. She's the captain of her team, so she picked the players she wants to play with, and intentionally, she clearly picked fantastic defenders because she needs them. Gonna be a bang-bang play, and it's not made. A run scores on an infield dribbler off the bat of Leach. That is now 6 hits for Team Warren, and they lead 2-0.
And I know that feeling where it's so frustrating, and Aubrey Leach is so talented. She deadens that ball right at the end, places it perfectly in the middle of Sanchez and Wagner. Sanchez not able to be in enough to make that play. Zirkle comes in, and 2-0 Team Warren. And those 4 will not be in the same lineup for the most part, probably together all in a row again, because every week we're going to be changing it up.
Jessie Warren, humpback liner, caught by flipping side, is retired, but another run put on the board. Her team's trailing 2-0. Team Warren on top of Team Wagner by a score of 2-0. But just getting started. Bottom of the second inning with Danielle Laurie. I'm Eric Collins. Shao, Sanchez, and Howe to bat against the great Kat Osterman. Not too many times over the years when Kat Osterman has been spotted at 2-0 lead that she's spit the bit. But this is a whole new can of worms. These are the best of the best. We're not expecting a 2-0 game. We're expecting offense because that's what we had all weekend long.
And Shao has just been loving this environment, doing well. I mean, she's batting .857, 6 for 7, couple bombs, couple doubles, no biggie, 4 ribbies.
And one time with a runner on base, she laid down a bunt, which was ruled a sacrifice, and she got 10 points for that. I think if you got 2 bombs in 2 games, you're not allowed to lay down a bunt. That's just got to be some kind of rule.
I'm with you.
494 points in 2 games, just off the wall. Quality strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Kat Osterman, has it always been the same go-to out pitch for her, or has she changed over the years?
I think she's changed a little bit over the years, but you know what you're going to get with her. She's going to bring you that curve into righty. She's going to throw the back door. But that drop ball is her go-to. I think if anything, this league, we're going to see maybe a little bit more week to week. These pitchers all go up in the zone. I haven't seen, aside from Kelly Barnhill, a good rise ball pitcher. And why do you even need it when you can throw a drop ball like that off the corner?
You know what? Shao's probably smiling on her way back to the dugout, but she's hitting against Kat Osterman. This is a checklist item for a lot of these women in their career. Kat's been doing it at the highest level for close to 2 decades. There's a lot of these women in the game who actually probably first started playing softball with a Kat Osterman glove. I know my daughter did.
Team USA jersey.
1 ball and 1 strike. Amanda Sanchez. LSU Tiger. By any chance you remember who you had on your first glove?
I do not.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Yeah. I have 2 daughters. One had a Finch glove and the other one had a Kat Osterman glove.
I'm kind of in and around the same age as them. So, I mean, I'm not as old as Kat, but I'm getting up there.
You didn't have a Dot Richardson glove?
No.
Debbie Doom. Fouled back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I remember as a young kid going to the Canada Cup before I was on Team Canada, and Team USA was there playing. And I remember being in awe of Lisa Fernandez. Like, just couldn't believe that someone could be that great, that tiny, and still be so good, right? Because you're expected to look like Kat, be that tall, be like Monica Abbott.
Here's Morgan Howe. Chases a pitch. Morgan Howe has fairly quietly been productive here in this new format for Athletes Unlimited. 2 good games for her out in right field. Former Arizona State Sun Devil.
Well, it makes you think, do they have binders where they're just keeping tabs on all these different players and philosophies of how they're going to go each week? I mean, this draft is going to be tomorrow night, where the top 4 leaders on the points from this week are going to be the ones that get to draft. You have to have a plan. I'm sure there's players that they want and need, and Kat, for me, would definitely, if she's not someone that's in the top 4 that I would want to get first, because as we know, if you don't have pitching, you're not going to win.
Yes, it is. It's 1-2. Sanchez, the runner at first. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 120 points in just 1 game for Morgan Howe. One down here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Backs her off the plate, 3-2. So Kat's thrown a bunch of pitches here in this 2nd inning. She only threw 9 in the home half of the 1st. She's at 15 and counting with only 1 out recorded here in the 2nd. Lifted foul.
I love this side profile, looking at how tall and long she is, able to get up on top of that drop ball. That's why she's the best in the game. Not to mention she can palm a basketball like no other. I've never seen someone be able to just, her hands on a softball, make it look like a baseball. I am so jealous.
Little bit outside, and the first walk of the game issued.
If anyone knows how to teach a drop ball, it's you, because you're the best in the world at it. Give me the tips. Couldn't do it. Couldn't figure it out. Tried, but just can't throw a drop ball like Kat. If you could, then everyone would do it, you know?
Then you'd be Kat Osterman.
Yeah.
Anissa Urtez is the batter. Shortstop. She's earned her keep defensively, but also put up good numbers offensively. Runners on at first and at second. A hit batsman and a walk. Urtez can't pull the trigger. 0-2.
Well, and that's what you want to hit. When you are down 0-1, that's a hammer pitch. You let that go. Now you're 0-2, and now you find yourself up there completely guessing. Is she going to go drop? Is she going to go backdoor curve? Is she going to go up?
Doesn't chase. If Kat can get past Urtez, her teammate on Team USA, Aubrey Monroe, in the on-deck circle. Looking for the punch out. No doubt about it. Right down Broadway, Urtez leaves the bat on the shoulder. 2 down. Piper has been the goods. She didn't start in the first game on Saturday, but came off the bench with a couple of ringing base hits, both of them off the wall in left field, 1 a double, 1 a single. So Piper a chance against Osterman. Shows you how much offense is going to be valued in this game. Already down 2-0. You need to get something done when you get an opportunity, and that's why Piper is in pinch hitting here in the 2nd inning.
Well, if I'm a righty, I'm looking at Urtez's AB, and I'm looking, all right, she got 1-2, and then she takes that curve in. Kat's feeling that pitch. She's able to get it inside to righties. I'm either backing off the plate a smidge, or I'm sitting on that, and I'm going to swing my bat.
Little looper, and that's trouble. Going back, making the play is Aubrey Leach, and Kat Osterman pitches out of a pickle. Gwen Svekis swings at the first pitch. Little humpback liner fielded by Urtez. One pitch, one out. Team Warren building a picket fence. Single runs in the first and in the second inning. And now Erica Piancastelli grabs a bat.
And what I've taken out of all these different teams is that these are by far the two best teams, like by far. So is that going to be a trend week to week where there's two teams that are just significantly better than everyone else? Are we going to stack just one team? There's so many different ways. I was talking with Vic Hayward. She's like, we're already trying to plot and get draft strategies and try to figure it out.
Good catch by the catcher Monroe, who just came back into the game. And an out in foul territory, 2 down.
They have some of the best players. They by far have the best pitcher with Kat Osterman, but they're never going to be that team again.
Another pop up in foul territory, and this one just over the fence.
And Team Warren has connected a lot. They've been thinking like, I'm kind of sad we're not going to get to play together, and they've been starting to incorporate some Florida State stuff. And they had this motto, give your all to the team every day. And they got in a circle and went around and were telling each other one nice thing right to left about each other. And they were in tears. And I love that part about the game, because we got to think these women are giving up their lives here for 5 weeks in this shield, coming away from family, cannot see anyone. All they have is each other. So the connection that they make is what makes this experience special. So I love that they're bringing a little Florida State flavor. They have the facilitator, Christian Conrad, who was a grad assistant in Oregon and is now a grad assistant at Florida State. But you just love how you can bring that to the table. We can bring the Florida State. Jesse Warren won a national championship there. I'm sure they've chatted with Lonnie Alameda a little bit to get some strategies.
Reed off the thumbs, able to muscle a base hit into right field. 2-out base runner with speed for Team Warren. That's now 7 hits allowed by Wagner. There goes the runner down to second. Strong throw, and out at second base. Monroe with a howitzer cuts down Reed at second base. That's how you do it.
To this level, and you put as much into it as you do, hey, if you want to stare down the umpire, this league allows you to do it, because you can do whatever you want, as long as you're respectful. But the beauty of this is, yes, you want to win with a team. You want to win every single inning. But when you do well, you do better. And I think that that's the cool part about the league, that you can just sit in your success that you're able to have and obviously not be too cocky. But, hey, that's a strike, and I deserve that. And to be able to bring that, it's pretty awesome, you know. And we're so used to the college game in the sense of you're constantly just all about the team, and I can respect that. But what we need to remember is these women are trying to fight to do well because they get money at the end of it. And I think that that's the cool part, is we're trying to win as a team, and that's there, but we're allowed to kind of flaunt our stuff a little bit.
Strikeout on 3 pitches. Jasmine Jackson is out number 1 here in the 3rd inning. Fans want to get even closer to the game. Well, become a member of the Unlimited Club to cast votes for player MVPs and have access to our members-only dugout camera. Learn more about the Unlimited Club by visiting auprosports.com and clicking join in the upper right of the page. Strength versus strength. Amanda Chittister grabs a bat. First time through the lineup. Kat Osterman has 3 strikeouts. This is going to be a league where there are very few strikeouts. Haley Wagner hasn't struck anyone out in the last 6 innings of pitching. She's been effective, but she doesn't strike anyone out. Kat does. She's always been a bird of a different feather. Chittister off the end of the bat. Going to have to hurry. Second baseman Leach can't make the play. We'll see how that one is ruled. It's a single.
Well, and see, you're respecting the power of Chittister, right? So as an infielder, there's no way you're in on that, because you're like, Chitty's not going to drop a bunt. You look at where Aubrey Leach is. Kat does her best to try to get to that, but I think even if she were to make a clean sweep, Chitty was coming in hot up the line. I'm not sure. It would have been close, but she wasn't able to field it cleanly.
Here's Megan Wiggins. Grounded out to second her first time up. Called strike one. Wiggins has been out in left field each and every game for Team Wagner. On the ground hard, Leach stops it to second for one. You're not going to get Wiggins on the return throw. So Wiggins replaces Chittister at first base. That was back in the first inning. Everything else has either been a ground ball or a strikeout.
When I love it, she's hacking at that pitch. We've seen a lot of righties take that curve in on their hands. A couple of them strike out looking. Hannah Flippin looks at their mistakes as something to potentially help her next AB. Comes out hacking.
Wiggins can run it first. Wow, chased it. All right, I don't want to get over my skis right here, but anyone who's watched Kat Osterman pitch knows that she's a no-hitter waiting to happen. The official scorer gave Chittister a single on that slowly hit ball to Leach. Maybe someone would have thought about calling it an error. So that's the only hit allowed, and we're towards the end of the third inning. That's always got to be in the back of your mind if you're watching Kat Osterman pitch, because she has done it so frequently.
Well, and then when you count that as a hit, that's the stuff that would get Kat fired up. She'd be like, what? She clearly just didn't get a good grip to be able to throw that.
On the ground. Perfect opportunity for the shortstop Ramirez to make the play. We've reached the top of the fourth inning. 2-0 lead for Team Warren over Team Wagner. Let's take a look at our in-game leaderboard, brought to you by Geico. Kat Osterman, the power of the pitcher. 3 shutout innings. Leach is 2 for 2, 2 singles, and a run scored.
Well, we're heading into a rollover inning, which means there's 20 points on the board available if a team is able to score and hold that lead in this inning. They'd receive the points from the third inning since there was a couple zeros up on the board.
Mauga, healthy cut, 0-2. 5 feet 2 inches tall, the great power hitter from Arizona, Katiana Mauga. Consistent thunder down there in the desert. All 4 years as a college player, 20 or more homers. Sawed her off softly to Flippin. Read the spin perfectly. 1 down. She doesn't get strikeouts at this level.
I just think that hitting has gotten a lot better, and these hitters know what's coming, and that's not a bad thing, but it is really tough to be a strikeout pitcher all the time when you're continuously playing the same people, right? So for the most part, people have, these athletes have watched her pitch at Michigan. They've seen her play professionally. They know she's a power lefty, throws that curve, throws that change. But it's not a bad thing to pitch to contact, to use your defense. You're not a bad pitcher because you don't get strikeouts. If you get outs, that's points, baby, and I'm all about that. I think sometimes it can be tough on the ego if you find yourself, I'm not able to get the strikeouts, I'm not good. But if you're able to get outs and get out of innings, the hitting really is a lot better, I think, than I thought it was going to be out of the gate. And I'm hoping pitching can catch up. But what I'm seeing is that hitters are coming to play. They're making adjustments literally the second time through the lineup. And they're not getting cheated. They're literally coming out hacking on pitches right out of the gate. And I think that has the pitchers back on their heels a little bit.
1-2 popped up, shortstop, Urtez, 2 down. I just think it's fun the way she starts her motion with that little dance move to begin when she rocks from side to side. Very fluid in the circle. Abby Ramirez, local player. She was Miss Softball, the Player of the Year in the state of Illinois. Her senior year in high school, went to Trinity High School in the city. Went to Michigan to play for 4 years, was teammates with Sierra Romero, did great things when she was there. and has been a pro here in Chicago for the last handful of years, playing for the Bandits, her hometown team. She actually grew up playing for a travel ball team called the Beverly Bandits, which were in affiliation with the Chicago Bandits, same colors. They wore the same orange and black that she's wearing right now. She's got to be the most comfortable person in town. The colors are comfortable, this building is comfortable, this is where she plays as a pro. This is her city where she grew up. Two balls and two strikes.
Yeah, I wonder if, well, they're in that shield. I was going to say you should go home and get a home-cooked meal, but.
Right to the third baseman, Sanchez, who caught it up the shutouts. Three innings, only one infield hit allowed. 44 pitches for Kat Osterman. Samantha Shao in the cleanup spot. She struck out her first time up. Shao has been the best player statistically here in Rosemont through the first 2 days. Closing in on 500 points for Shao. A lot of it had to do, of course, with her offensive performance and some of their pitching, but the team performance has been dominant. Team Wagner has won virtually every inning that they've played, and of course, at the end of the day, they've won every game, so everyone gets 50 points for team wins. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shao. Old school Big 12 matchup. Kat went to Texas. Shao, Oklahoma State. Chased the pitch close to her eyes. Second time that Shao has struck out against Osterman. That is now Kat's 4th strikeout.
Well, and this is what I love. The last strikeout by Shao was that low drop away and goes upstairs. Such a pretty pitch.
One down, bottom of the 4th inning. Amanda Sanchez. Healthy cut, no fear there, 0-1. Off the plate, ball and a strike.
And if I'm not being kept on my toes by Kat's drop ball, it is this praying mantis in here that is literally the size of a basketball that flew at my head. I can't keep my focus.
Praying mantises are like the most productive insect. They're supposed to be fantastic for the environment.
Yeah, well, not coming at me trying to call a game.
2 balls and a strike. We have found the kryptonite for Danielle Laurie. It's the praying mantis. Not afraid of a tie game in the 7th inning of the Women's College World Series, but you're afraid of a praying mantis.
Well, it's coming at every angle here.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Kat Osterman still leads Division I in strikeouts per 7 innings. Now, her gross total of strikeouts has been surpassed, but no one will ever break the amount of strikeouts that she had per 7 innings. We'll do it again, 2-2. And it just is so amazing to me that at this level, against the best of the best, the Kat is still different than everyone else. She has 4 strikeouts through the first 15 batters. Check that, first 13 batters. When all of these other great pitchers are rarely striking anyone out. These great hitters generally always find a way to put the ball in play, but still, after all these years, not against Kat. Case in point. Back-to-back strikeouts, 5 punch-outs for Kat.
But if you get a shutout, every single player gets that $100 bonus. So I think that that's something that's really cool. It's not the pitcher that just gets that. It's every single athlete that helps her get a shutout. So it's a cool little thing to have in your back pocket, which really makes it important to think, hey, Kat on the hill, I could get an extra $100 in my back pocket if we can get a shutout going.
Here's Morgan Howe. She walked her first time up. Kat has allowed 3 base runners. She hit Sanchez. She walked Howe, and then a dribbler, about a 17 hopper that was ruled a base hit by Amanda Chittister. Aubrey Leach, the second baseman, will tell you that she should have made the play. She bobbled it briefly. It was officially ruled a base hit. So that's the 3 base runners that have been allowed by Kat, who has now moved up to number 2 on our leaderboard. She's the second-ranked player behind Samantha Shao. Tied her up.
That's so dirty. I'm going back with that exact same pitch. Dropping it off on her hands, hitting that inside part of the plate. Based on that swing, if you put it in that exact same spot, I do not think Howe's going to be able to handle it.
Wow, Kat Osterman, she's done it before, she's done it again.
Hi, I'm Victoria Hayward. I'm an outfielder, and I'm playing for Mom. I chose to play for Mom because it's run by an old friend of mine, Braden Bishop, who went to the University of Washington, and his mother developed Alzheimer's, and I got to know her. She was an amazing woman, and I saw firsthand the disease and what Alzheimer's could do to someone. So I'm so excited to be able to play in her honor and to raise money to hopefully find the first survivor of Alzheimer's.
Well, playing for a cause is working out very well for Victoria Hayward. She hits a home run on the first pitch she sees here in the 5th inning, and that makes it a 3-0 lead for Team Warren. How about that?
I love it. I mean, obviously I know Vic on a personal level. We're teammates, but I just, when something like this happens, that's a great piece of hitting. That's not missed over the plate. She opens up her front foot to clear her hips to be able to get to the inside part of the plate, knowing she was going to get that backdoor curve. Just so pretty. You see her front foot open up. Hey, a little power in the leadoff spot, no biggie.
So Team Warren takes a 3-0 lead. Haley Wagner has given up 1 run in the 1st inning, 1 in the 2nd, now 1 here in the 5th. She's pitched well, but when you pitch against Kat Osterman, you got to pitch close to perfectly.
And Kat's going to be the hot commodity. Everyone's going to want her on their team, and if she gets to choose, you're like, all right, Kat, please choose me. How many? What do you like? What can I buy you? Anything. Just pick me for your team.
But you also, it's a trade-off as well. Kat didn't play at all on Sunday's game. So you get Kat in the dominant form that she has, but maybe you get her for 2 games. Maybe you get her for 2.5. Maybe she only pitches 1 game. That's no guarantee that she's going to be able to pitch every single game like Danielle O'Toole did. Sanchez throws out Aubrey Leach. Rare that Leach is retired. First out here in the 5th inning. Well, Victoria Hayward hitting herself a home run and rounding the bases, and it wasn't just for her or for her cause, but also aspiration. Has just committed to plant another 100 trees to drive environmental change. Pretty cool. Here's Jessie Warren, team captain.
And
Warren has put the ball in play twice, nothing to show for it, a ground out to short and a humpback liner to second.
And I think it's also important when you're Kat to get one more staple pitcher. They were fortunate with Ocasio that they could get some good innings from her, because I think it'll be tough for Kat to really be able to throw 2 to 3 games. It's a lot harder on your body, and the older that you get, and I can attest to this being 33, still playing the game, the recovery piece is key, and it's to go 3 days in a row is not easy, and I doubt you will see Kat do that, but I will bet you will see her pitch 2 out of the 3 games. So to have one more athlete on your team that can just add value that way, that can get through 5-6 innings, because what I've noticed with the pitchers is they've struggled, and they can go 2 innings and they're good, and then they get lit up. So whether they have to change the format and say, hey, we have to pitch by committee, and that's how we're going to do it no matter what, because there's really, in my eyes, only a couple pitchers that I think that can go a full game here.
Yeah, in the last draft that was conducted on Wednesday of last week, Amanda Chisner went #1 overall. Kat went #2 overall. Is that fair? It is. How about that? 3 consecutive plays to Sanchez, and she's flawless. So after the leadoff home run by Hayward, 3 5-3 putouts. Solid offense, single runs in the first, second, and the fifth. Most recently, a home run by Victoria Hayward. And then utter dominance by Kat Osterman in the circle. And now she'll face the bottom third of the order. Urtez, Monroe, and Jackson.
Let's see the adjustment that Urtez makes at the dish. Her last AB, she struck out on that curveball on the inside part of the plate, and she comes out swinging first pitch. But Osterman changes it up and goes drop down, or a drop instead of that curveball.
Kat has never been the hardest thrower. You know, she's obviously effective with her speed, but she's never been Monica Abbott, Yukiko Ueno, Jenny Finch, you know, low 70s.
But that just shows you don't need to be effective, and that's okay. As long as you can locate and have spin, she's a different specimen.
Oh, my goodness. That ball actually hit Urtez, but she swung at it. So it's a strike the hard way. Oh, a bruise and a strike. Sorry about that, Urtez.
Well, and to me, that just shows that she doesn't want to get burned on the same pitch. She knows that curveball is a pitch that she wasn't able to hit her last at bat.
Softly hit, Abby Ramirez. So Urtez able to put the ball in play, which has been rare recently for Team Wagner. Kat had struck out the last 3 in a row. First out here in the 5th inning. Next in line is Aubrey Monroe, who will bat for the first time. Monroe's spot in the lineup came in the 2nd inning with runners on at first and at second and 2 outs, and she was pinch hit for by Lily Piper. Pop up, foul territory, giving chase. Mauga can't make the play. Monroe and Kat, both teammates on Team USA. Danielle, in your time, did you ever have experience pitching against catchers that knew you very well, and what was the end result?
Yeah, I think that definitely is frustrating, but you have to trust your stuff at that point, right? Like, yeah, someone may know, okay, Danielle loves her changeup or she likes to go here, but at the end of the day, I believe you throw a good spot and hit a good corner and someone gets a hit, you got to tip your cap, right? So it's really location over everything. But I've definitely had catchers that make me look silly. But then I'm like, man, I'm glad you're on my team, you know?
U.S. Olympic team members, Chittister, Kelsey Stewart, McClenny, Kat for the 3rd time, Aubrey Monroe, Janie Reed, and Michelle Moultrie. Hannah Flippen and Taylor Edwards, who have both been very good. They are alternates. That's one of the reasons why this league is so important right now, is with the pandemic shutting down so many things across our country, getting an opportunity to enter the Shield and get reps and to continue to play before an Olympic year next year is so vital. Another strikeout for Kat, her 7th. 17 batters faced, 7 strikeouts.
When it's just this drop ball, just falls off the table, and she just makes hitters look just flat out silly, like not touching that. And I couldn't agree more with you, Eric. I truly believe that this league has given these women an opportunity every day to wake up with that intention of getting better, to train, to be part of this inaugural first season for this league. It really is truly something special. It adds a different flavor. It gives the fans something to maybe not get right away, but I think fall in love with. I love this fantasy sports type model. I love that the athletes are in the driver's seat. I think that that is really important. And I just think that these athletes can unapologetically be themselves. And some of them you're going to see truly shine in this league. And it's difficult for them. Like you said and named it, they're in this Shield. So they have to respect this for the next 5 weeks. If they want to see this through, you respect the rules, because the pandemic is a big deal. And if one person doesn't follow the rules with this, it can wipe out the league. So it's just following those types of rules. And I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Jasmine Jackson down in the count, 1-2. 62 miles per hour that slips underneath her bat. Kat trying to retire her 8th consecutive batter. The only slip up was an Amanda Chittister, got a one-out infield single in the third.
And I also think it's really cool that all these national team athletes get to continue to keep playing against each other, right? So whether you pick up a little nugget or you get 10 ABs off of Kat, that's something you have in your back pocket to take into the 2021 Olympics. If there's something you see, you can put that in a binder and have that to tell your team, right? And that's the importance of getting to play. And the more reps, the more confidence you get.
Malgo wins the race to the backside, retired. This is some old school softball. Pitchers duel 3-0 as we play the sixth inning here in Rosemont, Illinois. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. The top 4 point totals on Tuesday, so tomorrow night, will actually be the selectors for the next week's draft. So as much as Victoria Hayward and Gwen Svekis and much as they'd like to stay together, good luck. You know, they're all going to be separated because they're going to be picking separately.
And they're really sad about it. After talking with some of them, they're like, we don't want to play with other teams. We like our team. And it's like, that's the beauty of this league. You're not just going to have that dominant Team Warren team. You're going to have to split it up. And these athletes aren't going to get to all play together on the same team again. But that's also the beauty of it, too, because clearly Team Warren dominates. So I think it would almost be unfair if they just got to stay together the whole time. But
Pia Castelli is the batter.
A couple things I wouldn't mind, though. I wouldn't mind Ortez and Flippin staying together up the middle. That could be a mandatory little package deal, because it's a beautiful thing when those two work together, roll those double plays.
Counts full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. .74 pitches for Haley Wagner. Called strike 3. That's the first strikeout for Haley Wagner, and it comes to begin our 6th inning. Fans head over to AU Sports, prosports.com for custom merchandise, watch party kits, and pick 'em games. And stay connected with Athletes Unlimited year-round by following us on social at AU Pro Sports. Janie Reed. She played under the name Janie Takeda when she was an All-American at Oregon. 2 for 2, couple of singles. Was thrown out trying to steal a base to end the third.
And a pitcher that I'm a little surprised I have not seen more of is Barnhill, right? Like, you think about Kelly Barnhill, she was National Player of the Year, a phenom at Florida. We just really haven't seen her throw that much. She's got roughed up a little bit.
Reed hits this one deep to right field, heading back, looking up, playing it off the wall is Morgan Howe. That'll be a double for Reed. She's 3 for 3 with 2 singles, and now a double. Wonderful hitter. We're just going to rotate between teams. Reed drafted every Tuesday evening, and they'll try it again with different uniforms on. Trying to find fellowship, camaraderie, and unity with only a couple of days to practice together. And once again, you're playing for your team, but you're also playing for yourself. At the end of the year, we're not going to have one championship team. We're going to have one championship player. The best player is going to have the most points, and they will go away saying, you know what, in a league with the best of the best, I had the most points. Pretty cool concept.
And they're also going to have a couple little like cash bonuses for the ones that are most picked at a certain position. So I think that that's cool too. Yes, it is one winner at the end of this whole thing, but if you're that shortstop that's constantly picked way up at the top of the draft, I mean, that needs to be rewarded too. So I like that there's also that cash bonus incentive for the players, because that means that even though I'm not on the point system and I may be, 25 out of the 56 on the leaderboard, I still have a shot at getting a cash bonus in some other areas too.
How did Malga turn on that so quickly? That was 65 miles an hour right on her hands, and she hit a bullet over the third base dugout.
That's what she does. I mean, she has that bat speed like no other.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Reed on at second.
And that's a good pitch. I feel like the pitchers have been getting squeezed a little bit with how good the hitting is. And I hate to tell you, yeah, that may look like it's in the other batter's box, but I've seen Kat get a couple of those pitches. I have. And I don't know if that's the difference in catchers.
Deep to left field, Mauga has rung the bell. Her first homer with Athletes Unlimited. It crawls over the fence in left field. It's a 2-run spot, and the lead is now 5-0 for Team Warren. It was clear that Wagner had nothing that was going to fool Mauga.
And I feel like that always happens, right? As a pitcher, you throw a good pitch, and you're just like, ooh, I want that strike. Next pitch, bomb. That seems to be the trend that happens all the time. And I mean, this is tough. If you leave this to Mauga, look at that bat speed. That thing was out of here, no doubter. But it's the pitch before that as a pitcher, you just get frustrated. You're like, why didn't I get that called strike? But hats off to Mauga. She was patient, good eye.
Just had a player conference presented by Mariner Wealth Advisors. We had a pitching change. Haley Wagner calling to the bullpen, and she's relieved by Samantha Shao. Morgan Zirkle tries to lay it on the bunt. It's foul, 0-1.
You see her just make that call. I'm pulling myself. And one thing that I will say that I have seen a lot of is pitchers just being left in too long. And I don't know if that's a facilitator that needs to make that call or the captain needs to just step up in the situation. But I honestly believe to get 2 to 3 times through a lineup right now, unless you're Cat, is a difficult task. So I just think at this point, you know, it seems to be the damage comes 6-7 inning, that 3rd time through the lineup. So start to see that trend and understand it and respect it and say, hey, all right, let's get a pitching change. Let's bring Shao in for the 6th and the 7th before the damage actually happens, because before you know it, it all of a sudden gets away from you, and here we are 2-0. And it's a couple things that obviously a strike that could have been called but wasn't, and then that leads to that big-time home run. But I think we need to respect the talent more, the hitters more, and it could benefit you really sticking to that plan of pitching by committee.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 3rd consecutive day that we've seen Shao pitch for Team Wagner. This is a rare off game for her. She is known for just accumulating points left and right. Hadn't done anything so far today. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts with the bat in her hands, and now trying to rack up some points as a pitcher. She's currently ranked number 1 overall in points. High pop-up. It's going to be playable on the infield. Calling for it is Flippin, and that is out number 2. All right, I got a question for you, Danielle. A bunch of women in this league. We just saw Shao do it. We saw Wagner do it. We see Kat do it. Over the years, I've seen Monica Abbott do it. A lot of women dramatically take the ball and pull it off to their side before they bring their motion. Is that like some kind of device that is taught at some level, or does that help with something, or is that just a coincidence that I'm noticing?
I think it's just a coincidence that you're noticing. I think a lot of pitchers will try to do that because they're taught to really hide that grip. So if we can get that ball back where, you know, it's not so much the players you're worried about, it's the coaches that coach 1st and 3rd. And what I've noticed is a lot of coaches in the game will pick up on little trends and see you put your hand in your mitt if you just go straight. So being able to pull the ball back, hide it, allows for them not to call.
Flippin, airtight, and Shao does her job. Couple of outs, ball's never left the infield.
Just a warning? Is it just a warning? Why? Your girl is mic'd up.
Yo, tell me you guys just heard Erica. She goes, breakfast is the only meal I can't skip. Then dinner, and lunch too. She smoked that thing.
She did.
I swung so hard I hit the back of my shoulder. It kind of hurts. It's good though.
So Chittister will bat. It'll be the top third of the lineup. This will probably be the most difficult test for Kat if she wants to keep the shutout intact. She has Chittister, Wiggins, and Flippin. 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup for Team Wagner. They're now down 5-0, which may seem like you're trying to climb Mount Everest with Kat in the circle. Kat wanted clarity on where that pitch was. Home plate umpire Craig Hyde. Popped up, out of play. Well, how about this? We've got people watching all over and people talking about what we're doing here. This is the legend Hutch, Coach Carol Hutchins at Michigan, tweeting out love to watch Chitty on the big stage, even though she's got a picture of Haley Wagner. Both of Michigan
what
Wolverines.
about
Okay
Ramirez, too? Coach Hutch. I won't tell him, but I'm sure they'll be mad. They didn't get a shout out either.
On the ground. Here is Ramirez on cue. One Wolverine throws out another. I think Hutch didn't recognize Ramirez because she's not wearing the maize and blue like Chittister and Wagner are. She sees no other colors except for blue and gold. So that's a big out for Kat. She's got a one-hit shutout going. It's one of the cool things about players like Kat Osterman and yourself, Danielle, is people like me get really excited about numbers and records and things like this. So I've gone up to Kat a number of occasions and asked her about how many no-hitters she's thrown. She has no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Just none. The number is like 40, 80, no idea. It's not even a thing anymore because she's done it so much.
Well, I also think that it's not a good thing if you know how many no-hitters you have on the top of your head.
Ramirez has to hurry. Does she get it in time? She does. Wiggins stumbles over the base, and there are now 2 outs. Are they going to challenge this? Lauren Lappin, who's one of the facilitators, wants to challenge it. The play was bang-bang at first. We do have review capabilities here in this league. So Wiggins is going to go back to first, and they're going to see if there's not conclusive evidence as to whether or not the call was incorrect. The call on the field was out. There's going to need to be clear and conclusive evidence to overturn it.
I'm gonna say that there's no conclusive evidence in the video review that I would encourage me to change the call. I'm gonna go with the call on the field.
Mike, thank you. Mike's done a wonderful job so far in this first weekend. So the call on the field was out, and it stands. So there are now 2 outs, 2 big outs for Kat Osterman as she tries to close out this one-hitter.
And we're 0-for on video replays. 0-for. No one has got one right or got a change.
One call has been overturned. You're right. And, folks, it is a big deal. We're not just talking about a one-hitter for Kat, but also for Megan Wiggins. That would have been 10 points next to her name if she got a single. Here's Flippin, takes called strike 1. Two straight groundouts to Abby Ramirez to begin the 6th inning. Golfed into center field, hit well, very well. Hayward goes back, has to play it off the wall. Flippin's got a double, maybe a triple. Steaming towards third, and she makes it. That is a no doubt about it triple for Hannah Flippin. Hannah Flippin, our Geico defensive play of the game, happened earlier.
She's one of the best defenders by far in the game. Saved this inning. This was huge. She's got some hops. She's mic'd up. I mean, what else can she do? Oh, she can almost go yard off Kat. She just goes center, right off the wall, legs this out, has a ton of speed. It's crazy to me how good she is, and she's an alternate for the Team USA 2021. She is so good.
Fantastic.
Defensively, whew.
Well, the official score here in the building breathing a sigh of relief that we have a clear and conclusive hit. That triple takes him off the hook right there. That's no doubt about it. For a while we were wondering whether or not that scratch back in the third inning by Aubrey Leach, whether or not, or by Amanda Chittister, whether or not that was going to be the only hit, which would have been really a tough pill to swallow for Kat Osterman. But now the no-hitter is totally wiped away, thanks to Hannah Flippen.
Let's not forget, we have a shutout still, and if a run scores, it takes that away. But if you're able to get the shutout, it's $100 for each lady on this team. So I think that's something in itself where you're like, all right, I am laying out at all costs. This run is not scoring. So we have 1 inning left after this, and we're so close.
Shao hasn't put the ball in play against Kat. Oh my, well foul. Saw something she liked up by her eyeballs, and hacks it foul out of play. What's been effective for Kat against Shao, who has been dominant against every other pitcher here in this Athletes Unlimited?
She's just had 2 completely different strikeouts. And I think the difference between Kat and these other pitchers, these hitters are guessing off of Kat. And you can tell based on their strikeouts of striking out at a drop ball, next day be striking out on a rise ball. She's just been able to be super effective.
It's a foul ball.
And that's really, I just think, the difference. Like when I watch Kat and I see the way their ball's breaking, these hitters are hesitant. They're not, they're up there almost guessing, like, all right, I'm going and I'm going to swing at this, or I don't know what's coming. And you can just tell they almost look like they're uncomfortable. And that's really the difference between that elite pitching and what Kat brings to the table.
Well, now a conference between the team captain, Jessie Warren, and the battery of Kat Osterman and Gwen Speckes. Team captain Jessie Warren probably reminding everyone, hey, we got a shutout on the line and we got money in everyone's pocket. How about something filthy here? Kat doesn't need to be encouraged to get a strikeout. The great left-hander has struck out 7 through 5 2/3. 1-2 pitch. Much better at bat for Shao this inning.
And I feel like that up and in pitch is setting up for that drop away. And that's a pitch that Shao struck out on her first at bat where she looked almost silly and really just was over top of that drop. But I like that rise. Even though it's not the best pitch, she's still able to foul that off. It's not a strikeout pitch. It opens up for something else. And I think they're going to go backdoor on the outside part of the plate.
Tried to, and Shao didn't bite.
And I still think you can utilize the outside part of the plate. I think now if you go drop, you're able to get that thing moving down. And for those of you that are watching, you see Kat tap on her shoulder with her mitt. That's an indicator that she wants to switch sides. So when she'll flip, obviously the hitter doesn't know what the signal call is or where the location is, but if it's away, you don't want to have to shake continuously, so she'll just tap on her shoulder, which means to the catcher, she's going to go to the opposite side of where the pitch was called.
And a wonderful bit of work there by Samantha Shao. After striking out twice and having a real tough go of it against Kat Osterman, Shao picks herself up, dusts herself off, has a great at bat, and draws a walk.
That was a really good at-bat. She was patient. She swung at the pitches that she should. She was able to take pitches that not a lot of people can. That's a 9-pitch at-bat, and that is a great AB.
Amanda Sanchez next in line. 0 for 1, she was hit with a pitch. Called strike 1. If somehow Sanchez can get a hold of one, could be inning points for Team Wagner. Team Warren scored a pair here in the top of the 6th. Another quality strike. She went inside. This time she goes outside. 0-2.
Well, and that's what's tough. What are you looking for? If you're not swinging in at a backdoor, but you're not swinging away with the curve.
Oh, she got hit for the second time. 2 bruises, 20 points for Sanchez. Oh, they're not going to give her the base.
No, it looks like
she didn't move.
She leaned her knee into it.
Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough.
Nah, I think you should stay. Think you lean that little knee up in there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a bruise and a base for me.
Didn't even look like it phased her.
It is called a ball. Chased a pitch, and Ket gets a strikeout. Ket doesn't need the benefit of the doubt. She got it. She takes advantage. But there's always a full moon here in Chicago.
Wow.
First ball swinging, Victoria Hayward hits it foul. Wanted to see if you're paying attention.
I definitely was. I'm always paying attention.
Samantha Schau in the circle, beginning her first full inning of work. She came on to relieve Haley Wagner with 1 out in the 6th inning and got a couple of outs. Victoria Hayward tries to play a little small ball and misses 0-2. Off-speed pitch, and Hayward just can't swing. 3 pitches and a strikeout. Let's take a look at our Mic'd Up, presented by Sparta Science.
Just a warning? I said, just a warning?
Why?
Your girl is mic'd up.
Yo, tell me you guys just heard Erica. She goes, breakfast is the only meal I can't skip. Then dinner, and lunch too.
She smoked that thing.
She did.
I swung so hard I hit the back of my shoulder. Kind of hurts. It's good though.
Terrific. This has been really just, I can't think of a flaw in this first weekend of action here for Athletes Unlimited softball. Games, 2 of them on Saturday, 2 of them on Sunday, 2 of them here on Monday, and it's been so much fun.
And you're lucky I like you. We're working a lot together, so that's almost made it a bonus for me. But it's been really cool getting to see these and this whole plan really play itself out.
Nothing lead for Team Wagner as we play the bottom of the 7th inning. Katiana Mauga, the biggest hit of the game, a 2-run home run.
And I told you, I almost called her shot. Didn't I tell you? Like, hey, it's coming.
You did. You knew
Her
it.
and Chitty they're the 2 hitters every time they come up. I'm like, all right, who's hitting the bomb first? Mauga beats her to the punch. But I feel like next week, Chitty Bang Bang. It's going to go big.
I can't wait for the draft tomorrow night.
Me too.
Amanda Chittister went #1 overall in last week's draft. Kat Osterman went #2. You guys mentioned Samantha Schau is going to be way up there next week. Alicia Ocasio is going to be way up there. The draft actually will be tomorrow. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Every Tuesday evening is the draft. Each and every week of the season, there is a draft, and all of these 56 women are going to find themselves on different teams. So all the fellowship and the camaraderie and the teamwork that they've built, all gone. You have to try and build it again.
And listen, even if Chittister hasn't played to where she should, I still draft her. And I still want her on my team. She's a player. She's elite. She's going to step up.
That is now 9 strikeouts for Kat Osterman. She's playing a different game than everyone else. She's playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. And it's been that way for close to 20 years. This is the best league in the world, and she's pitching like she did when she was at Texas and striking everyone out.
Well, and she's getting ahead. She's 22 of the 24 batters. She's going with first pitch strike. So if I'm a hitter, I'm taking that in my memory bank and putting it in there and saying, hey, she's really getting ahead of us. So I got to come out hacking. I cannot come out waiting for her to throw me a strike. I have to kind of go in there and show that no fear.
Wow, first pitch strike to 22 of 24. Here's Jordan Roberts. Goosebumps on her arm. Rookie getting an opportunity of against one of the best to ever play. Roberts hit a home run a couple of days ago. Her first professional at bat went yard. But this is a bird of a different feather here. 0-2. Danielle, you mentioned it a couple of innings ago. A shutout is not only beneficial for the pitcher and the catcher, but it's beneficial to all 14 players on the roster. There's a cash bonus for everyone when a shutout is thrown as a team.
And you look at that little stat, 60 inning win points for Team Warren. And I mean, this is like the all-star teams of all all-star teams. I'm not sure you'll get another team that's as good as Team Warren collectively.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And I think that they've glued together real quick. I think that Jessie Warren has done a great job of obviously using her resources and what she had in Coach Lonnie Alameda and what was taught in her and getting teams to be able to bond together really quick. And she has a facilitator, Christian Conrad, who is a grad assistant at Florida State. So she's been able to bring a couple little things into it that's helped them feel connected, because that's really that next level play, right? Like all these teams are changing up all the time. But I think the difference is the team that can gel the quickest in the short amount of time are the ones that can kind of rise to the occasion, because they are forever changing.
Second at bat of the game for Lily Piper, and she's up against it, 0-2. If Kat gets a strikeout here, it will be strikeout number 11. It will be the second inning in which she has struck out the side in order. Just incredible. And she's done it efficiently. Just went over the century mark, 102 pitches for Kat. Kat had retired, spent the last 3 years inactive. Came back to play in this league and hasn't missed a beat. It's been a tough day for Team Wagner. Team Wagner's been fantastic, but because they're getting shut out, they clearly haven't won an inning, so there haven't been any team points that they're sharing, and there's been very few individual points because there's just been 2 base hits, and a couple of walks and a hit batsman.
And I'm intrigued to see how these weeks go and the adjustments that these hitters make against Kat. Is she having success early? Will this continue all the way through? Those are just the little things. Are these hitters going to share stuff that they learned throughout AB after AB? So when they switch teams, Svekis behind the dish next week may face Kat. Okay, these were her tendencies. This is what I saw. So constantly sharing information is also what's going to help these athletes get better, and a player like Kat, because she is being exposed a little bit. Hey, your catcher may tell your secrets, and you got to tell your secrets to all these different catchers. So you're going to have to just continue to keep getting better, whether that's pitching backwards, throwing pitches maybe you're not the most comfortable with at certain counts. And I truly believe, aside from Kelly Barnhill, who is a rise ball pitcher, that's what I haven't seen a lot of in this league. I haven't seen majority of the pitchers go up in the zone at all. So as a hitter, I'd come in with that approach and say, all right, I'm going to see the ball down, because, you know, 75% of the time the ball's down in the zone. So I think that's really the difference maker moving forward, is changing up the eye plane going upstairs.
That's the way you close out a ball game. Another strikeout for Kat Osterman. The great left-hander finishes with 11 strikeouts. She finishes with yet another shutout, only 2 hits. And for some reason, Lily Piper is standing at first base. And the umpires are calling everyone off bases.
I mean, at this point,
the catcher, Svekis, threw the ball out of play, and I think that Piper is saying that the ball was in the dirt. Oh my goodness, and they're going to agree. The ball was in the dirt. Piper swung and missed, and the throw needed to be made to first base to retire the side. Just you need to force out when you swing and the ball's in the dirt. And because Svekis didn't throw it to first, and because she just threw it out of play, Piper is safe at first. Oh, it was.
And that was a clean sweep. I didn't see that touch the ground at all. That just went right in her mitt.
They could review that, but they're just going to play another batter. You sure hope that a run doesn't score here and take away the shutout for everyone. So Jasmine Jackson is the batter. Now Kat's going to have to refocus. She thought this one was over. It goes as a strikeout, and then an error by Svekis. 1-1. Well, we get the opportunity to see a rare 4-strikeout inning. Two balls and a strike. Jasmine Jackson 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That's an odd way to end the game. And one of the reasons why Spekas, I think, threw it out of play is because of the rules that we're playing with, the whole COVID situation where the balls aren't supposed to be touched by very many people and you're supposed to throw balls away when they've been used.
Yeah, and they all go and they get sanitized, and that was a clear strikeout. Like, it didn't even touch the ground, didn't bounce.
All right, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2. Runner at first, Piper will be off. No reason to stay. Slapped down the left field line, and it is caught. Beautiful running catch by Janie Reed. And there is the shutout for Kat Osterman and Team Warren. They were magical over the weekend. They go a perfect 3-0.
And I think that just shows there is a clean-cut difference between Kat and these other pitchers. She's somebody that you want on your team. She's dominant. She's hitting great spots. And she's someone that's going to be a captain, I believe, and she's going to be able to make those decisions, who she wants on her team. But I think altogether, what a fun weekend of softball. Amazing for the fans. This is on TV.